Hey, everyone. I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you've had a wonderful week here. For those of you who tune in every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, thanks so much for tuning back in. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. We are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Again, we are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. And for those of you joining Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube page to watch the replay, welcome back. Be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe to the page. So thanks so much for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Apologize for the tardiness today. Fun times trying to set up technology in a hotel room. Always fun times, but nonetheless, I digress. But let me know in the comments where you are tuning in from today. For those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment is all about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. I reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. Today, I am in Kentucky on business. So, yeah, it is a little, definitely cooler here than Florida, which is kind of nice for a change because Florida is hot, still very hot. So it's kind of nice for a change. But again, let me know where you're tuning in from in the comments here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Hopefully, I'll be able to see your comments today and it won't be coming in late like sometimes it does. But nonetheless, so I will get started on today's mental health moment. I want to share with you a couple of tips for those of you who are taking notes. Hi from San Francisco, welcome back. For those of you taking notes, definitely jot down a couple of these tips today. And before I get started, I do want to remind you all that the next event, or actually there's another event, but nonetheless, the event that I am hosting this October 24th this year in Atlanta is my Growth Mindset and Self-Care Summit. Super excited about it. This year it will be in person. Last year, of course, it was virtual for those of you who attended. This year is in person in Atlanta. Be sure to get your tickets. The early bird special is like a couple weeks, it ends. So drnikishahammond.com/events is where you can always go to see the upcoming events. But particularly for that one, it's mindsettrainingsummit.com is where you can go. I'll put in the chat here, and I apologize for my LinkedIn people because for some reason my comments never go to LinkedIn. So I'm sorry. But I think only the YouTube and the Facebook people can see. But if you use BWE100, you can save $100 off that day for the registration. And again, it's mindsettrainingsummit.com. It is an all-day event. I'm super excited. You can learn more information on the website, but there's going to be amazing speakers there that day. We are going to have fun. We are going to learn, and we're going to network together and build community together. Hi from Virginia. Thanks so much for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Okay, so the other events, I could go down a laundry list of events, but instead of that, drnikishahammond.com/events is where you can go to get information about new upcoming events. Okay, I think those are my announcements. Yes. Okay, so today's mental health moment. All right, so, and again, for those of you jotting down notes, be sure to jot down these things. I do want to say mental health moment does not substitute by any means for therapy. Please reach out to a trusted professional if you're ever in a mental health crisis. This is just meant to be inspirational content, but it does not substitute, again, for medical advice. All right, so 3 tips today. So number 1, hi from Florida. Welcome. 3 tips today. One of the things, the reason why this mental health moment is important also is because I found that a lot of us, myself included, and it's not a bad thing to do, but we tend to have a lot of to-do lists, right? Like, what do you have to do? Maybe it's for yourself, maybe it's for work, maybe it's for family, maybe it's for friends, or whatever else you have going on. I think it's pretty easy for a lot of us to be jotting down the to-do list, which sometimes can get overwhelming, right? We have a lot of things on our list. It feels like I'm always joking. Hi, thanks for joining here. I'm always joking with others when people like, oh, why don't you just do this? Or why don't you just do this? And I'm like, okay, let me add it to like the number 52 on my list of things to do because there's just so much, right? We have a lot to do. But nonetheless, but today I want to encourage you to think about also making, and I'm going to tell you how to do this, but also making what's called a to be list. Okay. So again, there's to do, all the things you have to do in a day, in a week, in a month, if you have your yearly goals or whatever that is. But also, I hope that you also have something called a to be list. And I'll explain what that is. And hi, for those who are still starting to join here, Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Be sure to let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat here. Turks and Caicos is in the house. Welcome. Ooh, that's a place that I actually want to visit. I heard it's really nice there. Oh, you made me think. I'm like, ooh, I just think of like beautiful island. A nice place to visit. Hi from California. Welcome, welcome. Springfield, Illinois is in the house. San Diego, one of my favorite places, is in the house. Welcome. Okay, so the to be list. So the first thing to think about is, in addition, like I said, this is not like to substitute for your to-do list, but in addition to that, think about what you want to be for the day. And what I mean by that is, and you can tell me, let me know in the comments, but if you were to think about, let's say tomorrow, right? What do you want to be like for tomorrow? Like, do you want to be calmer? Do you want to be more focused? Maybe you want to be more patient. Maybe you want to be more productive. Maybe you want to be calmer. Like, what is it, or kinder? What is it that you want to be, right? So let me know in the comments if you were just to choose, and this is something you could think about day to day because our needs change per day. But let me know in the comments, like 1 to 3 things. If you could say to yourself, okay, let me create my to be list for tomorrow. Like, what do I want to be? How do I want to show up that day? Then what would that look like for you? Right. South Carolina's in the house. Welcome. Michigan's in the house. North Carolina, Dallas, Texas is in the house. Welcome. Aurora, Colorado is in the house. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, let me know in the comments. So what is it you would say like you would want to be, right? And what I mean by that again is maybe you say, tomorrow I want to be calm. Tomorrow I want to be focused. Tomorrow I want to be kind. Tomorrow I want to be thoughtful. Like, there's not a right or wrong answer. There's so many things that we could be, but in addition to our to-do list, because we're not machines, you all, right? We don't, hopefully you don't feel that way. We're not just machines just showing up and just doing a whole bunch of stuff. Like, those are important too, your things to do, but also like, who do you want to be and show up as a person? Someone said more relaxed in mind. I love that. Right. And that's a goal, right? For some of us, it's easier than others, which is fine. But maybe you want to say, like that person said, I want to be more relaxed in my mind. Like, I want to be peaceful, right? Like, whatever it is for you. Someone said present. Ooh, that's a good one. That's such a good one. We've done a lot of mental health moments about that, actually, about being more present. That was something, oh my God, for so long. I feel like the majority of my life, actually, that I really struggled with, like being present. And then I can't remember how old I was. It was a long time ago, but I read this book. I want to say one of the books was, I read a lot of books. I read a lot of books, but one of the books I read that was really life-changing for me, it's an older book, but it was called The Power of Now. And it was so fascinating because it really, I don't know what it was. You know how like certain books, you just have like the light bulb moment go off for you? That one, it just did. And it was like, you have to be in the, like, teach yourself to be more in the present moment. And I was like, ooh, because it's so easy, you all. And I know many of you probably can relate, but it's very easy to get caught up and spend our days thinking about the past or thinking about the future, which is just like, but also we need to be in the present moment more. So I like that. Someone else said discipline, focused, and organized. Love it. That is wonderful. Wonderful. And it is hard sometimes to be disciplined, depending on what area of your life, right? Sometimes it's easy for us in certain areas and sometimes it's a little harder, right? But it's such a great goal. So I love that. Someone said, good evening to you. Someone said resourceful. I love that. That is so great. I talk a lot about resilience, right? On Mental Health Moment, and actually in many different communities. I've had lots of conversations on resilience and also resourcefulness, which is lovely. I love it. I love all you guys' comments. Connecticut's in the house. Welcome. Pennsylvania's here. Chicago. Another person from Florida. North California. Welcome, welcome. And thanks so much for joining here. If you're just now tuning in, we're talking about today, how do you think about, in addition to your to-do list, to think about your to-be list, right? So you say you wake up. So step one is when you wake up, you say, and some of you listed one thing, some of you listed two or three things, 1 to 3 things. I wouldn't say like, don't list like 10 things. It's hard to be 10 things in a day, right? But if you list like 1 or 2 or 3 things that you want to be that day. Someone said healed and anxiety free. I love it. Right. Someone else said organized. I want to be left alone to discover and grow. Awesome. Right. Sometimes we just need a break, which is good. Someone else said, yeah, learn to be in the present moment. Someone's here from Calgary. Welcome, welcome. Thomasville, George is in the house. Welcome. So the first thing again is to think about when you wake up, like, okay, who do I want to be today? Right. And jot that down. The second thing to do, because sometimes, as you all know, we get distracted. So you may write down, like you said, someone said organized or healed or focused. You write down all these things in the morning, and then by like lunchtime, something has happened in your day, right? Maybe even something that like threw off your day, because why not? Life just throws us a lot of curveballs. Someone said, I want to follow through with ideas more. I love it. So the other thing you can do throughout your day is what we called, there's this concept called anchoring. Anchoring. And basically what that means is you're doing things to remind yourself, right? All of us have a lot of things going on. So that could be you using sticky notes. I'm a huge fan of sticky notes. Anyways, I don't want to insult any of the environmentalists. I'm sorry. I know that's like a waste of paper a little bit, but I am a huge fan of sticky notes, physical sticky notes, and also the sticky notes on my computer. So I do use a lot of electronic ones too. Nonetheless, but I use a ton of those. So maybe if you're that person that just loves sticky notes and reminders to yourself, like, hey, this is what you decided today. So maybe if you said, I I want to be focused, I want to be calm, I want to be healed, I want to follow through with my ideas more, like whatever you want to be for that day, you have it in sticky notes in places where you can remember that. It might be your bathroom mirror, it might be, if you're driving to work, it might be in your car, it might be wherever, at work, at home, like wherever that is for you, to be seeing it throughout the day. Right. The other thing is you can always change your screensaver on your phone. Maybe your to be is something you want to be for the week, which is fine. It could be daily, it could be weekly, right? So you could put it on your phone. You can also set timer or alarms on your phone sometimes to remind yourself, like, this is what, because this is your choice, right? This is what you wanted to be today. So you set the reminder, or not the reminder, you set the alarm right on your phone, and it pops up. Obviously, you set it at a time that's not going to disturb other people if you're at work or something like that, but just a time for you. Maybe it's a lunchtime, or maybe it's a afternoon time, or evening time, or just certain times where you say, okay, let me remind myself what I committed to be today. Okay. Someone said Brooklyn, New York's in the house. Welcome. Someone said prayer. I love that. Focus on my to-do list. Beautiful. Yes. Someone said this is extremely needed during these times. It is, because again, I promise you all, it's really easy to get caught up in the noise around us. That is something that, it's not an overnight process. It's just not. I wish it could be. I wish I had the magic wand. It is not an overnight process, but it is possible when you take different steps in your life, right? So this is not by any means like an end all be all to cure all your problems. I wish it was that easy, but, and again, for those of you just tuning in, or maybe you're brand new to Mental Health Moment, it is about small steps, tips, some of the things for you to try to implement in your life, hopefully, right? So you can work on becoming that better version of who you are, because it just takes time, like anything, right? So the second thing, again, as I mentioned, was to what we call anchor, right? So whether it's on your phone, setting some type of reminder, something you can look at, whether it's a sticky note, but maybe it's on your computer, wherever that is, where you have written to yourself, what you want to be for that day, right? Someone said New Orleans in the house. Welcome, welcome. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing to think about is, so remember, the start of your day, you're saying what you want to be for the day. The second thing is to think about where can you like anchor it? Where can you set up reminders, if you will? And then the third thing to think about is at night, you want to ask yourself, and let me back up a step before I tell you this, do not be in the self-blame game. I always say this on Mental Health Moment. It's so easy for us to get into the critical parts of our minds. Like that's an easy place to get to. So practice not getting into that place when I say this. But at the end of the day, I also want you to think about, like, did you do what you said you were going to do? Right. So if you said, okay, today I want to be calmer, right? Like ask yourself at the end of the day, like, did I live out and show up as a calmer version of myself? If the answer is yes, you need to celebrate. You should always be celebrating your progress. I'm a huge fan of celebrations, big and small. It doesn't have to be something ginormous. It could be something small. Find a way for you that brings you joy. Find a way for you. It could be something that costs money, doesn't cost money, takes a lot of time, doesn't take a lot of time. Like there's a gazillion options, but it's something that brings you joy and reminds you that you're allowed to celebrate yourself, because you are. However, if at the end of your day, whatever you said you wanted to be that day, maybe you said you wanted to be kind and somebody made you angry at work, or someone in your life you just had a bad day and you weren't. That happens, right? If it is a no at the end of the day, then what you do is you say, okay, didn't really accomplish this goal today. I wasn't who I wanted to be in this day, but guess what? There is tomorrow, right? So you try again the next day, right? Like that, it is okay. For those of you out here, because I don't want this to be an exercise or an activity for you where at the end of the day, you're like, oh my God, that's such a horrible day. I wasn't calmer, I wasn't kinder, I wasn't nicer, I wasn't anxiety free, or whatever it is that was on your to-be list. It's okay if it doesn't happen, but that's your goal. Like that's what you're shooting for. And then maybe it's day 2 or 3 or 4 when you're like, okay, I feel like I was that person today, right? And again, when it comes to our mental health, when it comes to our wellness, this is a process, right? So some of you, I just already know it, some of you are going to have huge, lofty goals of your to be. And some of you are going to have smaller goals that you're like, I'm hitting this goal every single day, right? Of who I want to be, which is great. There's not a right or wrong. It's a matter of how do you react at the end of the day, right? Good evening from South Carolina. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. For those of you just tuning in, today we've been talking about in addition to your to-do list, also thinking about your to-be list, as in waking up, checking in with yourself, and who do you want to be for that day? 1 to 3 things, 1 to 3 descriptions, right? The second thing is to think about anchoring. What are you like? Where are you getting those reminders through the day? Is it through your phone? Is it through your computer? Is it a sticky note? Where can you put like, hey, like reminding yourself what you wanted to do and who you wanted to be for the day? This is your decision, right? This is your to-be list. And then the third thing again is at night, you're going to check in with yourself, right? You're going to ask yourself, hey, who I said I wanted to be today? All right. And you're going to give yourself grace if you were not, because life happens and you're allowed to be human, but then you try again the next day. And if you were, and you're like, man, I really showed up as, whatever was on your to-do list, then you celebrate that. Find a way to celebrate. Even the small things count. Everything counts when it comes to celebrations. Hi, welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Okay. So, and also for those of you who are tuning a little late, let me remind you again really quickly that actually I probably should let me put in the comments. mindsettrainingsummit.com is where you can go to register. So my annual event is Growth Mindset and Self-Care Summit. This year is in person in Atlanta, and I'm super excited about it being in person so I can meet some of you all and meet the community, the greater community. But it is in Atlanta, October 24th. You do have to register, of course. We need to know who's coming. And the early bird special is, I want to say September 15th is the last day for the early bird special. And let me put it in the comments. For BWE family, you can use BWE100 for $100 off your ticket price for the day. It is an all-day event. It's going to be amazing. I'm super excited. You're going to learn. You're going to have fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to get to know ourselves, and also we're going to connect as a community. So super excited about that. Also for upcoming events, because there's also, oh yes, okay. It is on the website too. drnikishahammond.com/events is where you can go for other events. There's kind of a lot happening, especially in the fall. So instead of me like just reading out like all the events coming up, you can always go to drnikishahammond.com. Some of them are virtual and open to the public. Some of them obviously are private, so I can't put it on there for different organizations. But this Saturday, August 30th, also I'll be hosting a free webinar. Well, all the information again is on drnikishahammond.com/events. So yeah, be sure to register for that as well. All right, so be blessed. Have a great week. I think I'm trying to remember where I'm at next week. I think I'm in Florida. Yes. Trying to remember week to week. It's just a busy time of year, so I don't ever know what state I'll be in the following week. It feels like, but no, I should be back in Florida in the heat. But I do love my sunshine. But I have to admit, yesterday I was in West Virginia, which has some really beautiful mountains, and today I'm in Kentucky, and I do love my mountains. I do not love snow. For those of you who know me, I don't love my snow. You can keep the snow, but I do love mountains when it's not like a snowy season. But I'll be heading back to Florida where there are no mountains, unfortunately, but there is my sunshine. So there you have it. All right. So be blessed. Have an amazing week. I will see you back here live 8 p.m. Eastern next Tuesday on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Be blessed. Have a great week, as I mentioned, and I'll see you next week. Bye, you guys.